guys, my name is Jenna Woodard. I'm 25 and I'm gene positive for Huntington's disease. I just wanted to come on here today and share a little bit about my personal experience with domestic violence and how it impacted my life while also having Huntington's disease. A little bit about me and my history with DV. I am in the process of a divorce from my ex-husband, who was my abuser. And we are also going through the court system right now, trying to get him put in jail for the years of abuse he inflicted on me. Unfortunately, I had heard from many other domestic violence survivors all over the world that the court system doesn't really support us. The court system really doesn't defend us or give us justice that we deserve. And sadly, I am learning this to be true firsthand. That's why I feel it's very important that we get together and we speak about these things on a platform that we already feel supported by the HD community. You know, this is something I know not all of us experience, but the ones who do really need to talk about it. The impact that HD had on my abusive relationship was how rushed I felt. I feel like everybody around me knows how worried I am about time and how much time I have left until I'm symptomatic. And I know that other gene positive people and those just at risk feel the same way. I had gotten married. I had started the IVF process, all while knowing that he was abusing me, all while knowing this was not a healthy relationship for me to be in, for me to bring a child into, but I also didn't know how much time I had left to restart. I didn't know if I left him, would ever find somebody again before I got symptomatic, if I would ever have the chance to have a child before I got symptomatic. And unfortunately, that kept me grounded in the abuse for much longer than I'd care to admit, my fear of not having time to restart. Part of me found it really difficult to not humanize my abuser. He is an addict, both drugs and alcohol, and has a long family history of so, and was kind of genetically dealt the short hand and struggled with his addiction kind of out of his control in a lot of ways. And I felt that was very similar to the HD. I had no choice. I kind of got the short hand of the stick genetically, and I'm gonna be sick and I won't be able to handle it. I really struggled with the fact that that's not true for him. While I know that he was struggling genetically with his issue, I also now know that every choice he makes is his own choice, and it's very different to continue to choose to be sick, whereas I have no choice in the HD. I'm not gonna have any say over it. Being abused by him also took a major toll on my mental health and my mental well-being. He made me genuinely feel like everything was my fault. He altered my reality, and I started to wonder if I was losing my mind. I started wondering if the HD was already, if I was already becoming symptomatic, if I was already losing concepts of reality, because he had pretty much brainwashed me to believe that everything I thought was wrong and only what he said was true. One of the things that he liked to tell me was that I initiated the abuse and I was the first punch, the first hit that was thrown by me every time. And I started to question if, a lot of HD patients get really violent. I started to question if that's why things were happening. And I would ask him, if this was the case, would you stay with me? And he would always tell me no. He would always tell me he wouldn't be loved by a violent, angry woman. And that was really difficult to grasp, knowing that he was the abuser. And that was just another way of him twisting my reality and making me question myself even more. One of the first times I was able to take a step back and realize that this was not a healthy relationship was actually in Indianapolis, the convention last year. I just saw how wonderful my friends were and what great caretakers they were and how much they loved one another. And I knew he could never do that for me. He could never truly care for me. Even if he was sober, the years of drug and alcohol abuse has really altered his mind. And I knew that I couldn't trust him to be my caregiver, or if we did have a child together and I passed from the HD, I couldn't trust that he could be a good enough parent to them. And I felt responsible for what I would be leaving behind for my child. I want to emphasize how grateful I am for the HD community, because I had left him right before this year's convention, maybe about a week and a half beforehand, but I was still in contact with my abuser because he told me things were going to change. He told me things were going to be different, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't stay away because this abuse is all I had known for years. It just became normal to me. It was my friends at the convention in Phoenix that, showed me what true love looks like, that showed me how you treat somebody when you care about them, and gave me the confidence and the courage to cut contact with my abuser and to report him for violating the restraining order, and that still stand by my side and text me and check in to see how the courts are handling things and to see how I'm handling things. And I can genuinely say that if I had not been in Arizona this year, I would be back with my abuser and I would probably be dead at this point. So I owe, for a million reasons, my life to the HD community and the support that they've given me. And I really hope that I can be that for somebody else who might be going through this situation as well. You are not alone, and you never have to be.